Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And I think I'm Mike Davis and I'm back.
Yay!
Yay for me for being back. And do I have stories for you? All kinds of great stories. One of them will take 3 shows, but I'll try to work through it quickly. And Amanda's here with me today. Amanda.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks to you and Davey and all of your amazing guests.
Yes,
Townsend was
fantastic.
in. You had Marineland in last week.
Yep, Troy was in.
Mm-hmm.
It was good times.
You guys did awesome.
Troy and Blake held down the fort with some trivia. It's great.
Who won trivia?
I think it was... Can't remember. Guys, put it in the comments if you remember.
Okay. If you remember,
It's been a week
let us
since
know.
Thursday.
Yeah. Technically, it has been because we had a weekend.
Yes.
So, all right, Hebert, Kresge and Associates, they're a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top levels of service in tax compliance planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts. They can also do audits, reviews, and other accounting services. If you need a business valuation, forensic analysis, or even litigation support, Ken and Bill can take care of that. You can reach them at 904-460-0747 or online at HebertKresgeCPA.com. Call them today.
Absolutely. The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you're looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you in St. Augustine: State Road 312, State Road 16, and the beach. Or you can visit them online at southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC. Now we also have Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. Their dedication to customer service has been evident in everything that they do for the 39 years they've been in business. From the moment they answer your call until the time they leave your home, they are working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell. With their fleet of 10 plus trucks, 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment, they are ready to serve you around the clock. Their emergency service is always open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including nights, weekends, and holidays. They are looking to help you with all heating and air conditioning brands, and they want to make sure you are comfortable. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, and Land Title of America, whether you realize it or not, when you refinance the purchase or sale of a home, there's a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local and choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. Even after a week off, I remember Stephen's number. He specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local company, local title company, insuring America's land one title at a time because
they give a crap.
They do. They're amazing and awesome sponsors. They've been with us for a long, long, long time.
Yes. We made sure that we gave them their due about giving a crap when you were gone.
And in the Jackie Hurd calendar,
Yeah.
not a zip, nothing today.
Nothing?
No, there's a knighting ceremony.
It's a slow week.
It's another slow week.
Yeah.
We need to dedicate these weeks to Florida Man games and Pete Melfi and all kinds of things like that.
Maybe it's a slow week because it's Holy Week. People are in church. They're praying.
It might be.
Yeah.
I hear Davey might be a +1 on a family outing for you that I'm not going to discuss on the air.
Love it. I hope it works
Davey
out.
might be a +1. Also, sad news, if you have not heard, there was a plane crash at the St. Augustine Airport today. Apparently, a plane with 2 people in it took off, tried to circle back. There was no radio communication. They crashed before they could get back in the woods. But 2 people did not make it. So thoughts and prayers to them. So sorry to see that.
Absolutely.
If you want a more detailed report from a man on the street and you want the coolest man ever on a street, the 904 now has that update.
Yes.
So Pete Melfi can get you updated on all of those things and you'll be fine.
Yes.
Also, on a lighter note, there is a silver alert out today. It's very important. If any of you know...
Is Tim O'Neill missing?
If you know where Troy Blevins is.
Oh, no.
Apparently, Prospector Troy has shaved his beard.
Is it gone?
It is gone. You need to take a look at the morning show It is gone. That was the unveiling of the beard. He is going scuba diving later this week.
Yeah, is he scuba Steve?
Yes, he's got to. He has shaved for the scuba diving. It was so bad, right? I'm joking about a silver alert because he looked so old when he had that ugly beard that his own phone did not recognize him with facial recognition. That's
That'll
how
happen.
bad it was.
That'll happen.
When your own phone doesn't, Davey, he looks so good. It's so hard to say that, Davey, with a straight face.
Rude.
He's still got the hat.
He always has a hat. It's his calling card.
Oh, Barbara Jean, do I have stories for you? I'm not sure any of them are stripper stories, but I do.
Who is that man?
I do. I tell you, he doesn't even look like Troy.
So I was hanging out with him at and Pete and Clay and Davey and Miss Susan Johnson at the Jimmy Jam Bourbon and Barbecue.
How did that go?
It was a fantastic event.
Good.
I highly encouraged Troy to do a different shave off every day. So he had a different look every day, but he did the full Monty.
I don't ever want to see Troy doing the full month. For the record, don't want to see it. Don't need to see it. I got it.
But so Bourbon and Barbecue is fantastic. The food was amazing, like amazing. The bourbon was fantastic. It was funny. You know, Barry Browdy started out kind of hard with like the intense bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was funny to watch all the girls' faces in the crowd because clearly many of them had not.
Do you remember what one of the first ones might have been?
The second one was Heaven's Door. The first one was a Mickler's.
Mickner's.
Mickner's,
yeah.
So it was Mickner's, Heaven's Door, and then we did, I can't remember what the last two were. I just know the fourth one was a wild turkey liqueur. It's like a honey liqueur.
Yeah.
And then the third one, what was the third one? I don't remember the third one. Grandpa's breath was one.
Grandpa.
Yes, Davey definitely diagnosed one as smelling like Grandpa's breath.
Yeah, that's not the guy that was on the morning show.
That was not.
That is not the guy.
I was
They're
trying
going
to
to
get
have
it
to
closer.
update graphics.
I was trying to get a closer shot of bald-faced Troy.
Bald-faced Troy. Susan Johnson liked the Mickners.
Yeah, the Mickner's was good.
What kind was it? Was it straight Mickners? Was it the sour mash? Was it the toasted Mickners?
It was the so not the straight, it was the one
American
barley?
whiskey. There's a rye.
It was the rye. It was the
Barry
rye.
Barry likes
Mickner's
his rye. Barry loves rye.
He started us with rye. That's what it was.
Barry likes his rye.
Susan
I'm more of a
remembers.
weeded bourbon guy. I've learned that when Barry does a barrel pick, it's more of a. So if you like rye,
Yeah.
and you see the Barry Browdy's bourbon pick, doesn't he look like a 12-year-old?
I'm sure everybody that's watching has already seen it.
Pete has more hair on his head than Troy has on his face.
Who is that dude?
Is that inappropriate or what?
Who is that dude?
I don't know.
He's going for the like 5 o'clock shadow look.
Yes. 100%.
I was really trying to get him to go with like a waxed mustache one
Yep.
day and like Fu Manchu. I was trying.
Quick shout out to Bobby and North Carolina State.
Okay.
I know you don't know why I'm doing this.
I'm sure there was some basketball game or something.
Yes, not one, but two. North Carolina State won 5 games in a row last week to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
And then this week won their first 2 games to get to the Sweet 16, a fun team to watch.
Yes.
So they were playing an underdog. And I was like waffling back and forth. I'm like, Bobby would want me to root for them, but the other team, but Bobby would want me to root for them.
Yeah.
So yes, so they did. Yep.
Everyone was talking about the first time they met Bobby. Because we had a couple of people walk up to our table and be like, hey, I met one of your viewers this week or last week or at this event. You know that guy Bobby Giles who's always in the comments?
Bobby
and we were
is-
like,
oh,
yes.
yeah, we know Bobby.
So it was fun. Louis got to tell his story how he met Bobby.
Yeah.
Louis was at work and Bobby just walked up to him and he was like,
I know you
you're Louis Bouillet.
I know everything about you and how you cook.
Right?
Yes.
So, yes. So Pete got to get up and present Jimmy Jam with a donation from the Florida Man Games. It's
Awesome.
$20,000.
Awesome job, Florida Man Games. That
Yes.
Van Strange can raise some money.
He can.
Now, Pete, but Van Strange can raise some money.
I mean, he puts butts in seats.
Yes,
What can
he
I say?
does. Yep. Only Pete had the listenership of Van Strange.
Well, Van Strange didn't show up to the Florida Man Games.
I heard that.
He just got everyone else to come.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Or he had something else going on that day. I think he was meeting with his parole agent,
Yes.
parole officer.
Parole officer,
Yes,
maybe.
probably.
Or maybe it was one of his
More
girlfriends.
than likely.
Yes.
Both. At
Both.
the same time,
Both at the
Amanda.
same time. I did check my text, Davey.
uh,
Oh my goodness, there's pictures. I'm going to email these to myself, y'all, and I'm going to share you the stages of
Yep.
Troy's beard. So we'll get that.
Bobby, there are 4 teams from the ACC, so 25% of the Sweet 16 is ACC teams. They were much maligned this year, and the SEC had a whole bunch of teams lose in the first round.
Yeah.
I think it had 5 teams lose in the first round, which has never happened before.
All right.
They had a 3 seed and a 4 seed and I think a 3.
They're
4,
gardening.
6,
That's
7,
really
8.
exciting.
Yeah. Who's gardening?
You were talking about seeds.
Yes, they were gardening. Very well put, young lady. By the way, Tim O'Neill is listening. Tim got to play golf today
Yes.
with my son Reese and shared a video of Reese hitting a really nice golf shot, which I replied, I don't think he's my son when I watch him play golf. When I watch him play basketball, I know he's my son. And then
So
I
does
joke,
that mean that he's way better than you? Way better
he's
than
way
you
better at me than golf.
Okay.
Yes, way better. But in basketball, I can tell, yep, that's my boy. And then I did tell Reese to tell Tim, just hit one shot like my dad. I said, if that doesn't make him double over laughing, I don't know what will. Just one shot like my dad.
Yeah.
Which means way out of bounds or 3 feet in front of your feet and then kicked out of bounds. But anyone.
I've only ever driven the golf cart and engaged in the drink every hole for golf. I've never actually played golf.
You would have liked the
I've
one.
just observed golf from the golf cart with a bottle of wine.
There was a golf tournament. I will not name the people that put it on. I went to it a couple years in a row, but they tried to have a drinking game on every hole.
On every one.
It was like, I'm not a guy that would take a beer and then throw a beer away, but I did that day.
Yeah.
Because I figured if I don't, I won't make it to the back nine.
All right.
And they had ice slides where they would put a shot down the ice slide. They had women in a small wading pool, like a kiddie pool. Yeah, it was. Barbara Jean, there's your story right there.
We have stages of Troy's beard.
It was a lawyer that was sponsoring the 2 women who
Yeah.
may or may not, Barbara Jean, wink, wink, have been dancers at a club in Jacksonville.
Alrighty.
And we rolled up on, that was our 18th hole that we went to. They were leaving. I was like, I feel slighted.
Did it look like the Rapture? There was clothes on the ground, but the ladies were gone.
No, Barbara Jean, no clothes. It was very few clothes, Barbara Jean. There was nothing left around. So there is your stripper story on a golf
man.
course in St. Johns County for a charitable fundraiser.
A charity fundraiser in St. Johns County.
Yes.
Keep it classy, St.
Keep
John's.
it classy, St. John. Like I said, I'm not going to name the name of the group because they do great work here in town. But
Yeah. Well, all right. So here's stage 1 of Troy's beard,
Yes,
of the de-bearding.
the debearding. Okay.
All right. Now, they're not in order, so I have to...
You have to work your way through.
All right. Here's stage 2.
Oh, the
Brace
foo.
yourselves, folks.
Oh, man.
And then...
Yeah, he always likes to go with the big full Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
That's always part of the debearding.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks for sharing, Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
I mean, Davey, because you shared it with us.
Davey shared it. Davey rocks.
I'm guessing those are in the 904 group chat that I'm not a part of.
Probably. There's a group chat?
There's a group chat.
I didn't know that we had a 904 group chat. That's so cool.
The sheriff was at Jimmy Jam's Bourbon and Barbecue, and I introduced myself as the producer on the other show that he doesn't go on.
Yes, and what did he say to that?
He was like,
What
I love
show?
Mike Davis.
What show? He said,
I
what
love Mike
show?
Davis.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
I was like, well, I'm the producer that you never get to meet. So, hi.
So-
Nice to meet you.
Before I tell an airline story,
Oh,
which is going to take a minute,
okay.
Have you had a bad airline experience traveling where you got delayed or it just didn't work out that you would like to get off of your chest and share with the group today?
I will never fly Lufthansa
Okay.
because I was
World War II?
yeah, clearly. I just look really young for my age. I was on a flight. I was on a Delta flight with my best friend and her mom, and I was getting to go with them as they moved to Germany and help my best friend get settled, and they were going to show me around Germany.
Yep.
Great trip. Had a wonderful time. But on our way there, we're in line to take off. We get, we should be taking off in 10 minutes. I think we're third in line. So there's 2 planes in front of us, if the math is mathing. Lufthansa,
Yes.
which was first in line,
Yes.
veered off the runway
That could be
and
bad.
got their wheel stuck
That could be bad.
in the mud.
Yes.
So they come up and they're like, Lufthansa's stuck in the mud. They're first in line. So as soon as they're out of the way, because now they're blocking an entire runway at Atlanta Airport.
There's not a lot of flights going in and out of there.
And so they're blocking the entire thing. So there's just a line of planes behind us.
Yeah.
We're watching a black cloud come from the side of our plane, and it's coming towards us.
Mm-hmm.
And the blackness engulfs this side of the plane, and then it engulfs
Is Bill
that side
Paxton
of the plane.
in this cloud?
I didn't see him, but he might have been in the red truck that was on the runway.
On the
helping with
runway.
the plane.
Got it.
So all of a sudden, just like thunderbolts, lightning, Queen shows up, thunder, it's mayhem. So now we're delayed because of a thunderstorm. But not before Lufthansa makes it back onto the runway and takes off. So they create this entire traffic jam.
And they get to leave.
They were the only flight that got to take off from the traffic jam that they caused before the thunderstorm happened. So we get we're second in line now, so we know that they're gone. We're second in line now, but the thunderstorm's delayed us. We have to wait. So we have to wait for another 30 minutes because of this stupid storm for them to reopen for takeoff. So now we're an hour after when we should have been in the air. So we had someone picking us up in Frankfurt. Well, this was the 90s. We didn't all have cell phones.
No,
You
there was
had
no way to know.
There were phones on international flights, and so my best friend's mom is like, my husband's gonna kill me for making this flight or making this call on this flight, but I don't want him to drive to Frankfurt and then be scared about us not being there. And so we had another connection, and it was like, we're definitely not gonna make this connection. While he was picking, I can't remember where he's picking us up, but we had a connection in Frankfurt, and so she makes the call. We end up getting stuck in Frankfurt for 6 hours. Frankfurt is not a pretty airport. And everywhere we go, it's just dingy and it smells like pee.
And it has Lufthansa signs.
And there's Lufthansa everywhere.
Yes.
And so at this point, I'm just exhausted. We were 17, which was old enough to drink on an international flight. So I'm pretty sure my best friend's mom bought us wine.
Yep.
So I'm just like, everywhere we sit down in Frankfurt, I'd fall asleep, which infuriates my best friend's mom and my best friend because they can't fall asleep. So they're like, are you a narcoleptic? What's your problem? So they keep moving me just to keep me awake. So we explored the entire airport. We did finally get there. We got to the house, I think 8 hours later than we were supposed to. It worked out. But and we had a great trip. But that was my tragic airline story.
Well, mine is not nearly that tragic, but it is hilarious at times.
All right.
So we flew out last Friday to go to visit family in Houston, right? And on Thursday, they start sending us notices that there might be bad weather in Dallas, and do you want to move your flight a couple of days?
Okay.
Well, the whole family's getting together for the rodeo on Saturday, so moving it a couple of days really doesn't work for us,
Yes.
right? So
Okay.
we're kind of committed to going.
All right.
We know we're committed. We know there might be issues. There's a delay leaving Jacksonville. We only have an hour and a half turnaround in Dallas, Fort Worth, because there's no direct flight to Houston except for Southwest. Remember that, because I'll be back to it at the end of the story.
Circle back.
I'm coming back to Southwest. So we're flying American Airlines. The pilot was phenomenal. The entire trip, we're getting updates about the weather. We're getting updates about where we're going to land. The guy was like a 411. About everything that was going on, he was telling us. And then he said, there's about 12 people on this flight that have to make a connecting flight in 30 minutes or less. We were some of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked people to stay in their seats till those 12 got by.
Okay.
Which I've only seen that done for military personnel, right?
Okay.
But I thought it was really well done. So this is the height of American Airlines with great customer service. It kind of went a little downhill and sideways after that.
Yeah.
So we get our flight out of Dallas-Fort Worth is delayed to go to Houston because it's raining in Houston. But then it clears up and they send us. Halfway there, over the booming metropolis of College Station, the pilot comes on. Different pilot, not as informative,
Okay.
to give us this message. There's a bad thunderstorm in Houston, which I later found out was like 60,000 feet high thunderstorm, which I guess
Yeah.
that's really bad. And it's sitting right over Hobby Airport where we were supposed to go.
Okay.
So the pilot then says this: we don't have enough fuel to circle the airport. So we have to go back to Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay, cool. We got to go back to Dallas-Fort Worth. All right, we'll be on another plane because there's a lot of planes between Dallas and Houston. Well, there was one more
Only one.
that went to Hobby, and then there was one more that went to Bush. Obviously, if you've flown lately, all of these planes are basically at max capacity before you ever get there, right? In the old days, you're like, oh, 20 people could fit on this plane.
Yeah.
2 maybe now can fit on a plane.
Yeah.
So we get off the plane. On the app, it tells us that we have been booked on this other flight to Bush. We're like, cool. We'll just hit accept.
Yeah.
It won't let us accept it. So
no.
we're not far, and we're in the front of the plane, not first class, but in the front of the plane. And we go running to the customer service. There are 2 customer service people. There are 6 people in front of me. There are 40 people behind me. It's a full flight.
Oh, yeah,
It's a Friday afternoon. Everybody's trying to get to Houston for whatever reason. They're all personal reasons, right? So nobody can get it to accept someone getting on the flight. So I looked at Darcy and I said, I'm going down to the gate. It's only 2 gates down. And I'm going to wait there because in a few minutes, somebody's got to show up. I'll be first in line at least there because we were still waiting on the other people. Now, some of the United people were a little testy, but they had reason to be. Some of the passengers were just horrible
Yeah.
to them. I mean, I want my bags. We can't get your bags. Your bags are going to Hobby. Remember that later, too. Your bags are going to Hobby. We can't get them.
a lot to remember,
Basically getting cussed out over this entire story. So I felt bad for some of the staff, right? So anyway, I'm trying to deal with one gate attendant from American Airlines. Darcy's dealing with the customer service. Finally, she gets it worked out. So now we're flying to Bush in about 30 minutes. We have to cancel the car rental at Hobby.
Yeah.
We call Bush to get it, or use same company as Enterprise, and Enterprise is phenomenal. But this person on Enterprise says, oh, there's no more cars. I'm like, well, I got to call a different company. So I call Hertz. Hertz is like, yeah, we'll give you one. And when I looked at the price, it was double what Enterprise's price was.
Good gracious.
I'm like, okay.
It hurts, all right.
All right. I said,
You know
okay.
why? Because of that Tom Brady.
Because of Tom Brady. All Brady's fault. So anyway, I'm like, okay, we at least have a car and we'll get there. So we get there, and then we go down to get our baggage at Bush International. And we wait and we wait and we wait, and then our bags don't show up. We go talk to the people. Oh, yeah, yours went straight to Hobby because they were already on that plane.
Good gracious.
Okay, wonderful. So we said, guess it's time to go get our rental car. So we go downstairs to get the rental car. As we're going down the escalator to go downstairs, I look over, and there's 2 Enterprise attendants at about 8 o'clock on a Friday night. 9 o'clock? Probably 9 o'clock.
Good gracious.
And there is about 6 people in line. I look over to Hertz, where we have a reservation, right? There are 20 people in line and 1 person working.
Oh, no.
So I sent Darcy over to Enterprise. Let's see if you can find a car. I'll go stand in this line.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 people had gotten through the line by the time she gets there. We got a car. We go get the car. Enterprise again is great. And we now drive across town to Hobby.
Yeah.
Hobby is not like Jacksonville, where you have like 6 lanes of traffic for the arrivals to get picked up in and cars to go by. It's 2 lanes, maybe a 3rd lane when you kind of park in places you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's a major airport, right?
Okay.
So we asked the security guard, where do we go to park to go find our bags? Oh, you have to go through this. Then when you get on the other side, you look for the for this sign. Well, I'm not kidding you. that sign where it says producer Amanda is 10 times as big as the sign we were looking for. And
So you missed it.
I make it, we find it, we get in this parking lot. The parking lot is the size of like the New York Yankees parking facility. It's huge. So I pull into one of the first spots. I go, well, it can't be that far. Yeah. We start walking. A nice young man that works at the airport says to me, hey, where are you going? Well, we're going to go get our bags. He said, you're a long way from that spot. Get back in your car, follow me, I'll drive you there.
Oh,
He probably saved us about a 3/4 of a mile walk. We parked next to the door. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is getting better. We found somebody. They're nice. Now we're going to go get our bags. It's about 10:45, 11 o'clock.
And you don't do late nights.
I don't do late nights, right? I don't do late nights. So we get in there. There's nobody from American Airlines there.
Of course.
Now, the room with all the bags that got there an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, I can see through the window our bags. It's locked.
Good.
There's no attendant. We're calling, we're getting the attendant page. It's not just us. There's other people in the same boat. I go all the way upstairs to ticketing. Nobody in ticketing because by now it's 11:05 or 11:50. Somebody finally says, hey, there's one more flight coming in here from America. I mean, the entire board is Southwest. There's one more American flight coming in. They have to come down at around midnight. So we're like, well, we're here. If we leave, we got to come back tomorrow. We don't have all of our stuff. So we're all right, we're committed. Let's just wait. People that were on our flight that got diverted from Houston back to Dallas that didn't make another flight like we did, right? Rented a car and drove the 3.5 hours. They showed up about this time, waiting for their bags as well. So there's about 15 of us waiting on bags. We can see our bags, but we can't get to our bags. For about a nanosecond, I thought about, well, I know how to get into this place. I know how to break a window. But I thought if I do that in an airport, I'm never flying again in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then I saw the way that the window was put in. Like, if I had a screwdriver, I could open the window, get in, get the bags. But I'm like, no, I would like to fly again in my lifetime. So I'm just going to have to be patient.
You've got a bit of a surfing addiction. You have to fly to
I got to fly again. So I did the length of time that I would be in trouble for this thing. And I said, I'll just wait. So a little after midnight, finally some poor person from American Airlines comes up. Now, this is a company that's billions of dollars in revenue, right? But they cannot afford someone to stay for an extra hour.
Midnight Central Time?
Midnight, yes, Central Time.
So 1 a.m.
1 a.m. my time.
To your body.
Yes.
So that's 4 a.m. to us normal folks.
Yes, at least 4 a.m., maybe 5. But anyway, so we finally get the bags. Now we got to get out of there. Thank goodness we didn't have to walk the 3/4 of a mile back to the car because I might have forgotten where it was by then. Then we get to the Airbnb like at 1:30 in the morning, which is like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, man.
But you got your bags.
I did get the bags. I saw the best and worst of American Airlines all in one day. I said, the one pilot and staff on the first plane were phenomenal. Got a little touchy a little bit later on. Enterprise car rental was phenomenal as well. But then on the way back, they had tried to, I guess, clean up.
Hertz tried to price gouge you?
I don't know they tried. I probably accepted every single insurance option available. So some of it was probably user error.
But it didn't end up working out because you got your car through Enterprise.
I canceled it anyway. Yeah, I was like, first of all, I think I'd still be in that line trying to get the car.
Yeah.
It was one person and there were 20 people in line. And I'm like, is this just an anomaly? This never happens on a Friday night? Or you guys just understand? I don't know because it was just my run through there, through the airport. But I was like, oh my gosh. Troy Blevins, checking in safe. No need for a silver alert. That a boy.
That's what we like to see.
And Davey did have a major announcement tomorrow.
Not just Davey, we all do.
I know, but I'm going to let Davey make the announcement.
All right.
He was all excited about it. It was really, in some ways, it was kind of his and your idea. I didn't have anything to do with it.
It's definitely his baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. He's the idea man.
He is the idea man. I'm actually looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited about that. All right.
The movies I'm gonna make.
So that was
Nope. Let's go.
Go ahead. You just wait. You just wait.
I want to write down and put in an envelope what your first suggestion is going to be. We'll get there.
Wait.
You guys will learn about it later.
All right, so that was my airline story. Again, really lucky to be able to go do what we go do and to be able to travel. And
Yeah.
Texas was awesome and phenomenal, and I really appreciate you guys covering all of those things. So
How many steaks did you have in Texas?
one steak, one pheasant
Oh, yeah?
that was cooked on a grill that was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so good. That was Monday night.
Because you had to do like work stuff. You had like a convention thing.
I did.
then you
We had
did
family.
family
On,
thing.
we had family on the front end at the rodeo. Brad Paisley performed. Really did a great
Nice.
job. I like Brad. I'm not I don't know all of his songs, but he did a phenomenal job interacting with the crowd and the audience.
Good show?
Gave a guitar away to a little kid.
Oh, that's cool.
So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, man, that's really, really cool. We did almost die twice. Once on the way there in an Uber or a Lyft, and once on the way back on one.
You have Uber assassins?
There was multiple cars to get us because there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So when the Uber carrying the other third of our family looked up and saw our Uber running a light and went, oh God, this is not going to be good.
Oh, no.
That's not good. Like, that's not good.
Nope.
We did get there safely.
That's good.
It was all okay, but it was a little, we'll touch
Little
base.
hairy?
Yes.
Touch and go?
Touch and go at times. And then we went to a University of Texas baseball game on Tuesday night, which was super fun because they won they tied the game with a home run in the bottom of the ninth and then won in the bottom of the 10th.
Is that the college that Matthew McConaughey supports?
Yes.
Was he there?
Yes. No, he wasn't. I just said that as.
Come on, dude. You can't do that to me.
I will tell you this.
rude.
Our friends have phenomenal seats, so it was really, really fun. And it was a good game, and it was against Air Force. Those guys were really fun to watch.
Bobby.
Bobby, sorry, buddy. I gave you the NC shout out, but the Air Force went down. They led the whole game, Bobby, and gave up a home run, a 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth, followed by a bloop single in the 10th.
Those flyboys. No lasting power. What can I say?
I don't know. You were a Navy girl.
No, I dated an Air Force guy.
Did you really? I'm not going to
I
ask.
dated him. We didn't get married, so no lasting power for those
I'm not
flyboys.
going to ask how many branches of the service that you talked to.
I'm friendly to all people.
What about the Coast Guard and the Merchant Marine? Did you get that far down the list?
I don't know. I don't ask everybody their resume when I'm. So I only ever dated a guy in the Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I thought he was on Bomb Squad or something.
he was.
Okay.
There's bomb squad in all
There's
branches
bombs.
of the
I
military.
just was
Yeah.
curious. I just was checking.
The bomb squad school is at an Air Force base,
Yeah.
which is why I met so many bomb squad
So
guys.
many bombs. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Melissa, you're right. The Caitlin Clark game tonight should be really, really good. The coach for the other team, he says he didn't say it, that somebody else made a derogatory comment about sending her packing home.
Oh, no.
He just said if you win the first game, you get to play the second game against her. And he said it all got taken out of context. First of all, you really don't want to tick off the leading women's scorer in the history of women's college basketball in her last home game at Iowa.
Well,
Really not the thing to do.
I mean, you can try it.
Yes.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Bold. Let's see how this works out. Bold strategy. Yes. Very, very bold. Also, on another bold strategy, completely shifting gears, Donald Trump's bond amount was drastically reduced today.
Oh, was it?
So it went from
Shocker.
454 million to like 176 million, which
Have
is
$1
still
billion.
which is still crazy. And I had to explain to somebody who was a Trump hater today how outrageous that is. How there's never been that kind of punishment before. The law has never been used before in this instance for this thing. When somebody paid back 100% of the loan, there was nobody who lost a dime.
Yeah.
And basically, if this ruling
is this-
stands, you are going to put a chilling effect on businesses that operate in New York or are thinking about going to New York.
How is it possible to even go forward with the case if there's no complainant? There's nobody that's injured. There's no injured party. Like, how do you even proceed?
I don't know. But this judge allowed it to happen. I personally I'm making this prediction right now. Donald Trump will not pay a dime in that case. And before this is all done, it will be thrown out and he will be awarded damages. And
We'll
the
see.
state of New York is going to going to pay him money. You're talking about a man who lives in the legal realm and has done extremely well over his lifetime in court. And you're trying to beat him there. And this is not the only case, I think, that when this is all said and done, the appeals are wrapped up and it's all looked at from a legal standpoint, not a political standpoint, which is what this is.
Yeah.
You're gonna have issues.
I mean, I wouldn't want to fight a shark in the water, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I could take him if he's on land.
Donald?
You don't fight with somebody on their home
No,
turf, is what I'm
you
saying.
do not. Yes, I agree with that. Melissa,
see.
yes, Melissa. I'm sorry, I forgot that she's also the leading scorer of all
Women's
time.
and men.
Women and men.
All right.
Yep, I
Highest
think that's
scorer of
awesome.
all time.
Somebody tried to,
Good job, Caitlin
Kinda-
Clark.
they say throwing shade now, but really through some derogatory comments about, well, she's been there for 6 years. She has not been there for 6 years. So I was like, that's not true at all. Just say good job.
Yay, sports ball.
Yes. All right. So Trump wins his, I think he wins on an appeal.
Yeah.
I think all of this is just
I think
crazy.
most of the legal battles he is facing right now, as soon as they're taken to a higher court in a different venue, it's going to be less the way it is now.
I know you did not see, but there was a gentleman, Tony Bobulinski, who was a business partner of Hunter. He was testifying last week.
Oh, I remember Bobulinski's statement when he initially came out
Well,
about the emails.
he was
copied on.
testifying, and AOC wanted him to. Well, what did you see a crime? Yes, I did. I'm here to tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the crime. Well,
No, I just came here so that I'd have a target on my
yes,
back.
yes, and so.
Oy.
She says, well, what crime? And he starts to talk about the RICO statutes. She says RICO is not a crime.
Oh, okay.
It's not a crime.
Yeah.
Multiple times, right?
There's a few
Now-
people that got convicted on RICO charges,
There
right?
are a lot of people. Do you know who is currently charged with a RICO scheme in the state of Georgia?
Would that be Donald?
Donald J. Trump. It's like, you can't make this stuff up.
RICO's not a big deal. Like, shut your face.
It's not a crime. I would call her to testify in Georgia.
Right?
We have a congressperson that says it's not a crime. I'd like to have them come testify.
Oy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That would be funny
So
to watch.
racketeering is not a crime, says a sitting. Is she a senator?
She's a congresswoman.
Oh, good gracious.
Congressperson, congresswoman,
Congressperson.
whatever she wants to be called.
Congress human.
We will be polite about it. So yes. So that
I called her
is-
a human. That's polite.
And then there's about 8,000 other stories that were out there over the weekend
Yeah.
that I will get to with you and Davey
All right.
tomorrow. I mean,
That's
there's a
exciting.
lot of fun stuff. We haven't done 5 questions in a while.
We haven't.
And so I decided that based on my long time on an airline trying to figure out what was going on
Yeah.
with the airline, right? So we have basically airline questions.
All right.
So one of my questions is, I when I'm sitting, I like to be able to see out the plane. Okay.
You like to see out the plane. Okay.
I like to see kind of where we're going sideways. I just like to see. I can't
wanna
see
know-
out front,
You want to know death is coming?
but I want to just be able to see. So I have a question for you. If you're sitting in a row, and there's a person at the window seat, and they reach over and pull the shade down, or it's already down because you're on a hot runway, and they don't open it when the plane takes off.
Yeah.
Are you frustrated by the fact that you had a chance to look out the window from a seat away, but you can't look out the window because they've got the shade down? Does that bother you?
I like to be able to see out. But I also like to sleep. So I'm of two minds.
Okay.
I'm of two minds.
Of two minds. Mm-hmm. All right. I like
Davey says shade down.
I like the window up.
Yeah.
Open a window. I want to be able to look outside and just see where we're. Now, if it's pitch black outside, I'm okay with you closing it then.
It's almost prettier when it's pitch black outside. 'Cause all the lights.
Well, then if you're on the window aisle, you can look and you can see. Yeah, so I prefer that 100%. All right, favorite airport food?
Like that you buy in the airport, not like
Yes.
that they give you in the airplane.
Correct. They don't give you anything in the airplane anymore.
Oh, I love Biscoff cookies.
That's the only good thing they still give you.
My mom once ordered Biscoff cookies from Sky Mall
Yeah.
just because we had traveled a lot and I was such a lunatic for the Biscoff cookies. She gave me an entire tin of Biscoff cookies one year.
At Publix, they have the Biscoff cookies that you get on the airplane.
Yeah.
And they have the Biscoff cookies in a bigger bag that they get at the airplane. And they have the Biscoff cookies with a cream filling inside.
Which creamy Biscoffs?
Yes,
That feels
they
sinful.
are so.
You know what's really good?
You know what I'm going to do? I'll have to bring you a bag of those for Mother's Day.
Easter present.
Easter present. Yes.
So what's really good is Biscoffs and my homemade cream cheese icing.
Those would be phenomenal.
Like a chip and dip,
Yep.
but Biscoff cookies.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, but I make excellent cream cheese icing.
Yes.
And so that's quite a treat.
So for me, it's trying to find some place that's kind of a local place that has a place in the restaurant where the food is decent.
Okay.
Because again, you don't get anything on the plane.
Yeah.
I've started picking up the granola with the M&Ms in them because at least then I get some almonds, I
Gotta
get some
get your
peanuts, I
chocolate.
get a little bit of chocolate
Yeah.
fix. Because I know I'm gonna get a little teeny bag of pretzels. I'm probably gonna get water unless there's a bad storm.
Yeah.
But it's not like the service back in the old days. It was like a full meal.
Yeah.
You're like, this is awesome. I get to eat on the plane. Now they're like, here.
I remember getting actual silverware. on the
Yes.
plane.
Yep.
So my favorite plane food, or airplane food, airport food. That's the only place I get Cinnabons.
Yes.
I love to find the Cinnabon, and if it's on the opposite side of the airport, I'm so disappointed.
Aunt Annie's pretzels aren't bad either.
Yeah.
Those
So
are
I like
pretty good.
Cinnabons, and I'm sorry, but I'll get some Ben and Jerry's and an ice cream cone too.
I haven't done ice cream at the airport in a while.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
Ben and Jerry's and a waffle cone at an airport, that will make your day.
All of us should be in the same place on this next
Yeah.
answer. Okay?
All right.
Best thing about an airport.
Best thing about an airport.
Best thing. You want to go first and then I'll tell you why you're wrong? Aren't you glad I'm back?
Well, it is the Mike Davis show. Well, so my favorite thing about an airport ever
Yes.
was when I was traveling. I was pregnant with my youngest, so I had a preschooler and a toddler, and we were going to Mexico, and we flew out of Tampa, and Tampa has playgrounds. And that was amazing. You want to make sure that the kids are like happy and
Yeah.
ready to take a nap on the plane. Put in a flippin' playground. It was fantastic.
So here's my
Great.
favorite thing. I don't always take advantage of it or avail myself of it. It's always happy hour in an airport. It doesn't matter when you land at the airport. You can get a beer. You can get a mixed drink.
Yep.
You can get whatever you
And
want.
if they have a playground, you can enjoy
You
that.
can
mixed
enjoy
drink.
that on the playground with ice cream. So my favorite thing about the airport
Fantastic.
is if you're like, you know what, I just want to have a beer. Well, what time is it? It doesn't matter. Somewhere around the world, it's 5
It's
o'clock.
BOGO.
Yes, you know, like the embassy is like always a part of the other country, right?
Yeah.
Well, an airport has it's part of every time zone,
Yes.
so you can always drink when you're at the airport. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
The kids in my class today were mind blown because they were talking about road trips.
Yeah.
And they had seen a couple of places where like the state line went through a neighborhood. So like the house on the left was in Kentucky and the house on the right was in Tennessee or
Yes.
whatever. And that just blew their mind. And I told them about where my grandmother and my aunts live. And so they live in Columbus, Georgia and Phoenix City, Alabama, which grew into each other. And so not only is it like the state line divides neighbors essentially, but they're so intertwined. They're so one unit that they got an exemption on the time zone. And so the time zone wraps around Phoenix City, Alabama.
that's funny.
So Phoenix City opted out of Central Time.
Okay.
And it's in Eastern time because so many people live in one and work in the other that they just like, nah, we're not going to participate in your Central Time.
Well, and that's
So your GPS always tells you the wrong thing.
well, but the other thing is you're trying to make a meeting on your phone. Everybody would always be an hour off to whatever the meeting is based on where you were.
Well, so it worked fine when we only had dial clocks because you set them. But now you've got cell phones.
Yeah.
And so you drive over the bridge and the time automatically changes on your phone. And
then-
you're trying to map out GPS. So when I was driving there to see my grandmother 2 weekends ago,
Yes.
it told me I was going to get there at a time. And my mom's like, that's Central Time. You're going to get there. It's like, ugh, mathing.
Well, here's
Don't make
the
me math.
here's the what's funny about that. And I did this one time on my app that synced Outlook with my computer, my phone, my
Yeah.
Android.
Oh, you're
They
Android.
said, "Do you want to convert all your meetings to Mountain Time?"
Mm-hmm.
And before I realized that my fingers had hit yes, and my brain couldn't tell them
Screwed
no,
up all of your meetings.
all my meetings were screwed up.
Oh, no.
Everything was off by 2 hours. It took me about a month.
Stupid Android.
It took me about a month and a half to clear that out. I never hit yes again. It was always no, no,
The iPhone doesn't ask
No.
you that.
No.
They assume that you're smarter than.
no. So somebody that had an iPhone this week tried to set a meeting. We're like, hey, let's meet at such and such a time, and they were out skiing. Well, we confirmed the time.
Yeah.
They said, I'll send you an invite. So before I could say no, the invite came through, and sure enough, it was 9 o'clock Mountain Time, but it was 11 o'clock Eastern Time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you want to meet at 11 or do you want to meet at 9? Well, we said we'd meet at 9. I said, yeah, but your phone is telling me we're meeting at 11 in this time zone and at 9 in your time zone. But none of us will be in your time zone next week.
I think
We'll all be
that's
in
how your
this time
Android
zone.
interpreted the invitation.
Everybody got the same invitation. I had to send out a new invitation and work out the whole thing. All right.
All right.
I think this is the question of the year.
Question
so
of the
far.
year.
On the airplane, window seat, middle seat, or aisle seat, and why?
I'm again of two minds.
Favorite and least favorite seat.
All right. So it depends on who I'm flying with as to where I want to sit.
Yes.
I will sit anywhere but the aisle if I'm flying with my mom because my mom wants the aisle seat. I will happily sit in the middle seat if I'm in a row with two of my children, and then one of them gets the window and one of them gets the aisle, and that way they're not on each other. So I will happily be the border wall between those two warring factions when we're traveling. If I'm only traveling with my husband, then I prefer the window.
Prefer the window. So
But I will sit on the aisle because he's got very broad shoulders. He's so handsome.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to get hit by the beverage cart.
So I like the window. And if I'm traveling with myself, right, or
I hope you're
one of
traveling
my-
with yourself.
Well, but one of my surf buddies or something, right? I like the window. I don't mind climbing in and out. Usually on a 2-hour flight, I'm good. I'll sit there the entire time. And if I want to sleep, I can lean up against the bulkhead, right? I understand I don't have quite as much room, but I like that better.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the aisle because I get hit about 800 times. People walking up and down the
Yeah.
aisle, stewardesses, all of those things. So
That's why I don't love the aisle. But I'm getting older, so I do appreciate being able to go to the bathroom without crawling over anybody.
So the middle seat, like Darcy and I were traveling this weekend, and I'm like, okay, if it's a girl in the aisle seat, a woman, you have the middle, right?
So she doesn't lean over me.
And there were sometimes we had the middle in the aisle, and I'm like, where do you want to be? She said, I don't know. I said, okay, if it's a dude up against the window, I got the middle seat. You take the aisle.
Yeah.
If it's a woman up against her, you take the middle seat, and I'll take the aisle. So that was kind of our deal of how to work that
Situation
out.
specific.
But when I'm traveling with another guy on a surf trip, it's really like a free-for-all.
Is it like do you arm wrestle or do you just fight your way to the seat? You're always early, so you're probably sitting there like,
No, we board together at the same
Okay.
time. But there was one trip we just came back from, and the person in the aisle looked like they were they were stressing.
They enjoyed happy hour?
No,
Okay. They did
were
not enjoy happy hour.
just so stressed out. So I had the window the entire way. Two plane flights down, one on the way back. We're on our last leg coming back home. And my buddy literally dives into the window and leaves me in the middle. The poor person next to me was so freaked out over the flight. They got left down in Miami. They had to fly back. Apparently, they'd spent a day trying to get a plane. And I don't think they like to fly because they took like a blanket and put it over their head and then wrapped it tight around their neck. It looked like a ghost next to me. And I was like, all right, do I say anything? Do I not say anything?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, they had earphones on or they were singing inside their head. But they're kind of bouncing around the entire trip. It's a little freaky. I'm not going to lie. If you want to freak somebody out, that's how you do it on a plane.
Is that how you get the aisle to yourself? Start acting super sketchy.
There was no arguing over the armrest. I'll let you know that right now.
You just relinquished it.
I was trying to get these wide shoulders as thin as I could get them. I was like, oh my gosh. Don't make this happen.
Davey says he wears Depends so he doesn't have to get up and crawl over anybody because unicorns part rainbows.
I heard he wears Depends on the morning show. I'm kidding, Davey.
What is happening right now? Davey, you got a lot of...
tomorrow should be a blast.
It's going to be great.
Yes.
We've got a big announcement.
Yep.
We're all very excited. Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Davey's the Gandhi of the morning show. He brings peace and love to the morning show.
And light.
And he wears a diaper.
What's this? We make fun of Pete on the show. We don't make fun of Davey.
We make fun of everybody.
Now when I'm hosting this show, we don't.
Mm-hmm. I want to get Pete's mom to come on the show.
Susan would come on the show with us.
Susan, if you're out there, we want you to come on the show and be a guest.
I'll let you know when he's traveling next time.
No. I always treat Susan extremely well. Unlike you, who I rarely treat well. We really need to get Susan on the show.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
I want to hear all about her life with the COA and the time that she spent here in St. Augustine. Yeah. And we might delve into her son's life as a child. Maybe. Susan's in. Yes. Susan, text us and let us know what days work for you.
Or email me at mikedavisshow@gmail.com.
Yep. We want Susan on the show.
Yeah.
First of all, she's an incredibly talented radio person. Mm-hmm. So having her on the show.
And gorgeous human.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And mother of the Florida man.
Yes.
The Florida man.
Yes.
She's going to be the mother of Samson.
All right.
Yes, it's true.
Is that a hair joke?
Yes, it is. You want me to get the picture back there to show you?
It's a very specific hair joke.
Mother of Samson. I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. It makes it even funnier.
Gracious. Has there been any more news about the plane crash? Not that I have seen.
No, we do not have any more news. The other story that's out there that this is going to set off a firestorm because it literally set off a firestorm.
No.
Do you know who James Carville is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So James Carville made a comment this weekend that the problem with the Democratic Party today, and this is James Carville, a longtime Democrat strategist, but the problem with the Democratic Party today, according to James Carville, not Mike Davis and not this show,
no,
is that there are too many preachy women in the Democratic Party.
Man.
I don't know if that's going to go over well. I don't know if his audience is going to enjoy that.
He just firebombed his career.
I thought it was kind of over for a while, but yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been over for a while because he keeps saying things that, well, I'm not commenting on what he just said, but he keeps saying things that are true but unpopular.
Mm-hmm. I thought so. So as a woman,
Davey, Mary Magdalene, come now.
I am not allowed to comment on this because I don't. Mm-hmm. Right. So as a woman, and although you're a conservative woman, do you think there are too many preachy women in the Democratic Party today?
No comment.
Not going to throw any of your own kind under the bus.
I mean,
a wise decision.
We can talk off air.
A wise decision. Yep.
I believe there were 2.
Melissa, everything I have heard, including from the great and all-knowing and all-powerful Pete Melfi, there were 2.
I believe. Reports indicate that 2 people have died as a result of the plane crash near 312 and US 1. Near County Road 312 and US 1 near the airport. So that is what Pete Melfi is reporting as of 4 hours ago. So that is the update.
Okay. That is what we have. You have anything else today? Anything else that you would like to talk about or not talk about? Because I brought up an incredibly controversial subject and you managed not to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about it.
I know. Do you know how many times you bring up controversial things and I'm like, well, she's on the soapbox. I guess I'll just let her go for about 6 or 7 minutes and then I'll be done with my break.
And then you say, all right, we'll move on now.
And we're moving on.
Honestly, you just tuned me out. Let's be real.
What? Well, usually in like minute 9. I have lost some.
Why was I excited he was back? Why was I happy? Here we go.
Don't forget, tomorrow we have a huge announcement. By the way, there was a huge announcement this morning.
There was.
Did you hear who's coming?
Are you excited about?
I am very.
I was in the group chat when you found out.
Very excited.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't a group chat. It was a Tuesday evening group chat. It's just me, you, and David.
It's the St. Augustine This Evening group chat.
I know. I like that group chat. Everyone in it is outstanding and amazing and keeps me informed. Yeah. But yes, Eric Church is coming to sing out loud. I'm very excited about that. It's one of my favorite acts. He does a phenomenal show. The only bad thing is the last time I saw him, he did a 3-hour show. And I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a time limit and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that would be past your bedtime anyway.
For Eric Church, I stay up late.
Melissa has a question for you.
Give it. Yes, go ahead.
So does that mean you think women should remain silent, Mike?
No, I absolutely do not. I do not. I think that causes them to die younger. It's like asking men not to have an opinion. It causes us to die younger.
Don't remain silent. It gives you wrinkles and makes you die younger.
Listen, I think everybody should be able to express their opinion. I think as long as you express your opinion in a way that isn't over the top and being mean to somebody else just for the sake of being mean to them, I think that's...
Yes.
And I enjoy when people have a different...
Birthday's tomorrow. Keely, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Keely.
Yes, happy birthday. I think that I enjoy hearing other people's opinions is different than mine. Sometimes I learn things. Sometimes I learn why they think what they think. I may not agree with it.
Yeah.
I'm a very hard person to persuade.
Yes.
I'm a frustratingly hard person to persuade because once I made up my mind, I'm pretty much done. I will listen to your opinion.
Yeah.
I will not say that you have a dumb opinion, but once I've kind of came to my own conclusion, I've done my research, I'm good. I enjoy hearing other things about it.
Yeah.
And I don't ever feel like you have to believe what I believe all the time. I think that is just crazy thought when you think that, well, I know how everyone should live and they should live like I live. I just think that's wrong. I think you should be tolerant of other people.
I have been persuaded. I am also difficult to persuade. But whether I agree with you or not, I like to hear your perspective because I like to know where everyone's coming from. I don't expect you to agree with me, but as much as I respect you for having your opinion and your beliefs, that's all I ask for is just respect to have my beliefs. And if you want to talk about them, then cool. I like talking politics and current events, clearly. But if you don't want to talk about it, I'm cool with that too. If you want to agree to disagree and be friends and not talk politics, I'm totally cool with that too.
Listen,
you want to know what I think, then ask me. If you don't, then let me know that's not what you want to talk about, and we can talk about something else.
And there's times I've learned later in life just not to say anything.
Wrong, Davey, I'm never wrong.
I've never seen Amanda wrong yet, Davey, especially when we're concerned.
That's not true. I have been wrong before. Like when you asked me math questions for trivia.
Yeah. So there was a whole...
Look at you, boomer.
No, I was trying to pull up the... Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got mad at James Carville for his comment. And I was trying to pull up her comment.
I bet she was
but
big
it's
mad.
behind the news wall at one of the sites.
AOC response.
I think she said he should start a podcast, which I think he already has.
Carl. All right. Let's see. AOC snipes at James Carville after complaint about Democrats' preachy females. Quote, start a podcast. Far left AOC has hit back at longtime Democratic strategist. Yeah. She said, start a podcast.
Everyone has one of those.
Well,
including us.
That's kind of a dig on white males that every white male has a podcast. So that's what it's not just, I suggest you start a podcast. It's like,
She was being mean back
old
then.
white guy start a podcast. Har.
So what you're saying is she was preaching to him.
I mean,
Did I take that out of context, or was she preaching to him?
there's that old saying that
Was she just
it's
joking, or was she preaching to him?
better to be silent and be thought stupid than to speak and remove all doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good rule for everyone on the internet.
Well, I blew through those barricades a long time ago.
I mean, I don't always follow that rule.
I blew through those barricades.
It would be lovely if we all filtered what we said through that rule.
All right, big announcement tomorrow.
Big announcement tomorrow.
It's a big Davey
Yes.
originated great idea that all of you need to tune in for.
He's the brains behind this operation.
Tune in tomorrow morning.
And the sparkle.
He's the sparkle. Tune in tomorrow morning. The morning show will be on.
Yes.
Some young guy is replacing Prospector Troy. He'll be on to talk about
Allegedly.
to search the comments, peruse the comments, give a quick
It's Tuesday.
2-second
so
weather report.
thumb the comments. I don't know.
I don't know what he's going to do.
Bobby, give us a
And
preview.
There may be a Stoidum stat involved, but this is a
I'm
young
sure
kid
there will
doing
be.
it, so not as much experience as Prospector Troy. So
Yes.
you guys are you just get what you get tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, this is the Mike Davis Show. It's been great to be back with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with the sparkle of the 904 Now.
And that ain't me. Bye, guys.